will be the one who sent the most salutations to me. Shah Wali Allah writes, the inner meaning of these hadith is that we have to turn to the divine state, and there's nothing more effective in turning towards Allah than turning towards the light of Allah, as Allah is drawing near to us all the time, and we can turn to the rituals and the emblems of God on earth and open ourselves to receive them, and we can reflect on them deeply, and especially on the spirits of those who have drawn near to Allah. And those who have drawn near to Allah, they are the best among the highest assembly. Who are the highest assembly? The angels, the saints, the prophets, and the intermediaries of God's generosity to the people of the world. Remembering the Prophet, may the peace and blessings of God be upon him, with reverence and seeking Allah's good things for him is a sound means of turning to God. And it prevents deviation in religion, because one is remembering the Prophet only to seek mercy for him from Allah Ta'ala. The spirits of the perfected ones, once they have separated from their physical bodies, are unshaken by the changing will or the chance motive, while the souls below them can become attached to these perfected ones through concentrated zeal, through himmah, so that they become clothed in light from them. And this is what is expressed by his saying, by the hadith of the Prophet, upon him be peace. And the hadith is, there is no person who sends salams to me, but that God returns my spirit to me so that I can return salams to that person. And this is hadith in Darimi and Ahmed ibn Hanbal. We have this hadith. So these experiences of Shah Wali Allah are recorded in Fayud al-Haramain. And in this book, he has the Prophet as a spiritual guide, and he asks the Prophet many questions about the troubles that he experienced in that time in the 18th century in India. So many groups were quarreling with each other. And Shah Wali Allah was not just speaking about the Sufis. In these visions, he says that the Prophet told him to give great honor to the ulama, to the muhaddithun, and to many others in the community who are working for good and for knowledge. So the spirit of the teachings of the Prophet was to restore unity in the ummah and to try to honor and all of the groups and to moderate disputes so that Muslims could be united. And Shah Wali Allah continued, he tried to work for this unity during the rest of his career. Now I'm going to briefly mention another of his works, the one Adur al-Thamin, the precious pearl. And this is rather unusual, although the Sufis do this sometimes. I don't know if you've heard of these kind of works. The Sufis compile a kind of special report, special hadith that they receive from the spirit of Rasulullah, peace be upon him, in dreams. And Shah Wali Allah collected 40 of these ahadith, which he experienced from the Prophet or his father Shah Abdur Rahim or his teachers in the Haramain. And I'm going to just quote two of these. One, he received a special darood, a special salutation from his father, and he wrote, "My father, Shah Abdur Rahim, commanded me to do the following salutation on the Prophet. May the peace and blessings of God be upon him." And that durood is, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin an-Nabi al-Ummi wa Ali wa barik wa sallim. And then Shah Wali Allah said, and I recited this salutation in a dream, and I saw that Rasulullah, peace be upon him, approved of this salutation. Then he gives a report from his father again. My master, my father, informed me saying, on the Mawlid days I used to have food prepared in honor of the Prophet. May the peace and blessings of God be upon him. But one year, I didn't have any food in the house. All I found were some chickpeas, some chena, hummus. And so I fried those chickpeas and I gave them out as part of the Mawlid to the people. And then later I saw Rasulullah in a dream, and he had the chickpeas in front of him, and he was smiling with delight. So I was thinking of that story, and I was thinking of all the beautiful food that we had today, and all the blessings that those people who cooked the food and gave the food and distributed the food must be receiving for doing such a great action in honor of the Prophet. So those are just two of his works. In his other works, he also mentions so many times devotion. He wrote a poem, Atyab an-Nagam, which is in praise, also a qasida, in praise of the Holy Prophet, may peace be upon him. The title of this poem means the best of melodious recitations in praise of the master of the Arabs and the non-Arabs. And I'm just going to quickly, a few of the themes he mentions in the poem. It begins invoking the Prophet in the difficult times that we are living through. And Shah Wali was writing in the 18th century in India, and he felt that this was a time of great darkness, of great threat to the Ummah. And he begins his poem, Rasulullah, we need you in this time. So in our time today, I think we can still have the same feeling. Then he mentions all of the things during the poem that one does in honor of Rasulullah, peace be upon him, mentioning the dala'il, the evidence of Risala, of the Prophet's life, mentioning the shama'il, all of the virtues of the Prophet that we heard about today, his humanity, his temperance, his nobility, his zeal, his courage, his forgiving nature, his patience, his asceticism. And so he honors in this poem Rasulullah, may peace be upon him. I'll conclude with a final quote from another work of Shah Wali, a well-known work, At-Tafimat al-Ilahiyya, Divine Understandings. And he's discussing the practice of sending salutations on the Prophet. And the quote, Shah Wali writes, "Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds, salutations and blessings on our Master Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and on his family." If somebody was against sending salutations, that person might say, there's no benefit in sending salutations on the Prophet, peace be upon him, because the meaning of sending salutations is seeking mercy or ennobling somebody or confirming that person. And the Prophet has already reached a limit that cannot be passed. So why should we send any salutations? Shah Wali says, I say, if somebody gives that argument, this is opposed to the hadith, because the hadith says, whoever sends salutations to me once, I will send in return 10 times. Therefore, the benefit of the salutation is to return to the person who sent that salutation. So this practice must be continued. And of course, those opponents today give even many worse arguments why one should not send salutations. From this brief introduction to Shah Wali and devotion to the Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, we learn that Shah Wali, like all the great Muslim scholars, both advocated and himself practiced sending salutations to the Prophet, commemorating his noble birth and experiencing him as a living presence and a spiritual guide. May Allah grant His mercy and blessings on all who have gathered here today to honor the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa shukran.